Yo, yo, yo. A little bit, but yeah. Yo, yo, yo. This is Thru. Come to you with another live shoot. I've really been in the mix lately. I am making music a lot. But yeah, I haven't really been speaking about what's going on, with me. Just reflecting on some things from last year and all that. Because last year was pretty rough. And yeah, I'm watching because I'm watching anime a lot, so I was watching One Piece. I'm trying to keep up with it, with its thousand or some change episodes. You know what I mean? So yeah, still on journey. I'm was halfway there now, or little less than halfway there. You know what I mean? So yeah, and just watching One Piece is just it kind of reminds me of certain things. You know what I mean? And for me, I have certain affirmations I want to say out loud in it, and for me, it's to do with primarily fear. Fear of public opinion, fear of trying new things, fear of being in low income prison or low income jail. And you know what that you guys don't know what that means. It's just basically you're on a low income where you won't be able to do much things, you know what I'm saying? Because you're on a low income, so you're just forced sometimes just to be a homebody because of lack of spending power. You know what I mean? So I call it low income jail, but technically it's people's on a low income. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying that because I just I'm renting a property in it, so yeah. But yeah, there's that, and even to some degree, fear of getting in trouble, especially when you feel, that, you're not in the wrong here, you know what I mean? Fear of being misunderstood, whatever, just fear in it. Just fear in certain things but those things that I mentioned in the list, it's one of those primary things, you know what I mean? And one thing, one fundamental thing that you just watching from One Piece, and there's one thing and one fundamental thing that one has to think about is that people have their own stories in it, and each individual are the authors of their own lives. And I'm never going to be scared in making content, you know what I mean? You see my blazing through walks when I spoke on my opinions about people having different minds, you know what I mean? Call it neurotypical, neurodivergent, or whatever, however you feel. You're just different minds in there. I've been speaking on that a lot. I've been speaking about what's going on with me, my journey and my weight loss, and me trying out different foods. You know what I mean? Learning some things of what's going on in TikTok, and taking heed to the theories, because not every theory is fake. You know what I mean? Or when they say oh, let me give you some. No one say AI is saying that, oh, there's no evidence of this. It's literally saying there's no evidence, but that doesn't mean that it's not true though. You know what I mean? When people say oh, there's no evidence, it doesn't really necessarily mean that it's not true. You know what I mean? So, and the thing is AI does is whatever to get information from sources, you know what I mean? But yeah, never I told myself never to doubt possible theoretical phenomenons. Yeah, phenomenons, you know what I mean? I was meant to say that phenomenons, you know what I mean? That could potentially happen. And like I said, I'm never going to be scared to make content. So yeah, obviously I have certain risks in my head that I wouldn't take right now, but the main thing really is oneself trying not to give into that fear. And I think like fear is one of the most, if not the most powerful things that could put anyone in a make or break situation, whether you're brave or not. Like everyone has fear, but you know what I mean? But it's just one of those ones is like it just holds you back. That's the main thing that holds you back is just fear in it. So moral of the story is it's like never give in to fear, or at least don't let it be put over one's emotional and mental intelligence. Zimmy, you know, just get out there, do what necessary you have to do as always, and don't let fear sink in or at least let you sway from your goals. You know what I mean? Just think about now and what you could achieve. Think goals and achievements over fear. If you ever feel like something that's not right, if you ever have like a gut feeling that, you know, is a bit shaky and wobbly, like think goals and achievements over it. Like you're just like, what are you gonna do about it? You know what I mean? And I think for me, the best way to think about overcoming it is just like goals and achievements, like depend no matter like what it is. Like it could be like small as like cooking a perfect meal, or like, you know, being a character in a video game or the whatever, like fighting game or whatever, like just like achievements in it. Just think about that. And what you do is like the more you become like more of yourself, you know, rather than like giving to that fear which makes you become something that you intentionally don't want to be. That's, you know, that's the, you know, that's like the power of like fear in it. But yeah, like fear is a killer. Fear is like a disease a lot of the time, but it can, you know, like, and it's not always bad. Like there are some things like it can definitely help if it's treated right. Like I said, like everyone has fear, like, and it can definitely help if treated right by just at least the bare minimum, not let it hinder one's goals. Literally. Like it reduces anxiety, promotes forward thinking, and it just saves you trying to decipher what's right and what's wrong. And it should come what's right and what's wrong with you anyways. Like, you know, at that certain stage, you know what I mean? Like, you know, people my age, people my peers, like, you know, we're not kids anymore, you know what I mean? Like it should come right or wrong with you anyway. You get me? But honestly speaking, like if not addressed, like it will eventually eat your soul. Like fear will like get to a point where like it eat your soul, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I just say what it is. Like it will just eat one's soul alive. Like, you know, I don't know if you guys play Street Fighter, but like letting fear eat you up is equivalent to the stats we know how to do. You know what I mean? Stats we know how to do type shit. Like I don't know who plays Street Fighter or not, but that's literally equivalent to that. That's like fear eating up alive. You know when evil, when Ryu turns like evil, right? Like, you know, giving to Sasori the hard requires like giving into like fear, and that's what like Akuma tries to tempt you into giving to the fear of the Sasori Naruto, which gives him some kind of like power and the intent to kill and hurt and destroy. You know what I mean? So it's literally the same thing, but obviously like we don't go into that far of a context, you know what I mean? But it's literally the same thing. It's just like fear will eat ones up. Like, yeah, you'll just eat ones up, man. Yeah, so yeah, that's it. Like my affirmations of the day is letting go of fear. And I feel that I've done the right job. Like, and I've making progress. Just, you know, going over my affirmations are out loud, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Just like going back to it. I might have other affirmations, but like this is like one of the main ones that I'm dealing with here. It's just fear and just like not let it overtake one's soul to become something that they don't want to be. And yeah, that's it. Control your own destiny. A lot of people don't know about Fighter's Destiny on the N64, you know what? Oh man. Oh, man. I think that's the beauty of like fighting games, you know what I mean? And I feel that's like, you know, why like I kind of like fighting games so much, you know what I mean? And Fighter's Destiny, that's like a classic game. A lot of people don't know, like, bro, it's 2026, man. We're talking about the late 90s and early 2000s, bro. Kid times, you know. But anyways, like, yeah. My destiny is to, like, get this fear out of here. Period. Thru Waterz is out. I'm done.